Alright guys, my people, we don't come again. How are they? Today, we are going to be talking about what is happening in Nigeria in terms of borrowing. Remember, our politicians have been borrowing and borrowing and borrowing for themselves, not to help you and I. During the time of Buhari, the one I can remember, Buhari borrowed and borrowed and borrowed to the last day, 24 hours. Before he left office, Buhari still borrowed. Barrister Mike Ozekhome, the senior advocate of Nigeria, will take us through on that one, on this particular video. Then Senator Ali Ndume don't come out again yesterday. Come still talk about the continuous borrowing by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the present current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Remember, Buhari borrowed to the last minute. He handed over to Tinubu. Tinubu continued the borrowing. And this morning, you and I know the same. I would like us to listen to Senator, the APC Senator, Ali Ndume. Then, the next video after him, now Barrister Mike Ozekhome, the senior advocate of Nigeria. Let's watch this together.
Let me first of all say that I'm not against borrowing. Even the greatest countries in the world, America, Japan, China, all are big borrowers. But they borrow for physical, tangible, and accountable projects that you spread and pay over time. But my worry is not even in the borrowing, it's what you borrow for. Let me give you quickly a rundown of what I check. You see, in June 2023, $500 million was borrowed for women program to scale up what they call NPWPSC. Can you see that? Can Nigerians see it? Where are the women? Then on June 23rd, the same day, $800 million was borrowed to cushion the impact of high petrol prices after fuel subsidy removal. How? Where? Then, on September 23rd, 2003, under the same government, $700 million was borrowed again for Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment. Then, on December 23rd, the same thing, $750 million borrowed through what they call renewable energy scale-up. Then June 2024, $1.5 billion was borrowed to support Nigeria's reform for economic stabilization to enable transformation.
That one sounds very spurious, I have to be honest.
Okay, you see? Then in June 24th, $750 million again was borrowed for immediate financial and technical support for efforts to stabilize economy and to scale up support to the poor and most economically at risk. Then, on September...
Well, they would argue, that particular one, that they've been making payments to a lot of poor people.
Where are the poor people?
Some of their cash transfers and things like that.
Look, whenever you're doing something, if it is true, somebody will come out to say thank you.
But are these loans, are they approved by the National Assembly? I mean, do they pass through your Senate for
No,
approval?
what passes through the Senate so far as this is these are itemized.
Right, the bulk of it passes
No, the bulk,
through.
you don't pass the bulk, you pass the itemized. If, for example,
Right.
before...
So were all these itemized things approved?
Not to my
so you're saying they're extra?
Not to my knowledge, not to my knowledge.
Because
not
I know that...
Because such amount, the medium-term expenditure framework
Right.
is something that they bring and we look at and maybe approve it. But that is not to say it's a blanket.
So you're saying these things are have bypassed the National Assembly?
That is it. So far.
The reason I say that is that I know that in November 2024, the Senate approved, like, I don't know, 1.7 trillion naira or something to that effect, that the government had requested, which is like several...
No, it's not. Charles, get it clear. Before you pass the budget annually, There's the midterm expenditure framework
Right.
that must come before the National Assembly for approval. These are the things that the government is anticipating to spend, but that is not to say that even if it is approved, it's a blanket approval. No.
Right.
Every item, every of this
Must be accounted.
Yes,
Right.
no, because you need to ask questions. How are you going to do that? How is it important? And when is the money? What are the terms? All these things are supposed to be discussed first before you engage in it. That is the National Assembly approval. But as I said, when you total these borrowings, the figure I got here is about $9.45 billion, which translates to about 13 trillion. And as I said, I mentioned most of them. These are items that are either intangible, those items are not, has nothing to do with infrastructure. I would have supported, for example, that the country is borrowing even more than that to build our infrastructures, to build railway,
Right.
to build our
But you're
roads.
saying that these things that you're mentioning,
Yes.
they're not tangible things
They are not
that
tangible
you can
things
hold on
that you can hold on to.
Right.
And these are things that you pay in the next 40, 50 years.
Listen to this. 2 weeks ago, the president went to the Senate, to the National Assembly, and said, I want to borrow $800 million. Who has calculator there? 800 million times 760. Can somebody do that? 800 million. 800. They put 60 times 760. That is what the Buhari administration told the Senate 2 weeks ago. They want, oh, Senate said, Mr. Yes, Senate. Mr. Yes, sir. Senate said, oh, approved. To do what with that money? In the twilight of your going, they have just approved over 400 billion. They say payment of judgment debts. Who are the judgment creditors? Have you not seen the judgment creditors in the last 8 years? These are parting gifts for the boys. Nobody is deceived. If everybody is, I am not. Then the same president went to the Senate 3 weeks ago and said, we want to borrow. Yeah, thank you. Do you know how much that is? $800 million is 608 billion naira. 608 billion naira. With that amount, every state of the 36 states in Nigeria can have a first-class hospital fully equipped that will never allow any Nigerian to leave the shores for treatment abroad. Do you hear me? Are you hearing me? The same federal government 3 weeks ago went to the Senate and said, give us 22.7 trillion naira as ways and means loans, ways and means. 22.7 trillion naira. I thought another government is supposed to come in on the 29th of May. Is today not 26th? Abi? Is it not on Monday? So, haven't borrowed money for our generations yet unborn. Haven't sold our yesterday. Haven't mortgaged our today. Why are you against selling our tomorrow? Why are you borrowing? What do you mean by ways and means? 22.7 trillion naira. Wait for it. It's not yet ended. It's not yet ended. On again, few weeks ago, the federal government again got approval from the National Assembly to borrow 819.54 billion naira. They call it domestic loan to fix infrastructure. Domestic loan to fix infrastructure. Which infrastructure? When are you going to fix it? I thought you are going in the next few days.
When I hear him, APC senator, this will not be another party, so APC senator, now he cry come and so come say, this continuous borrowing. In fact, he went on by saying you don't get any problem with borrowing. If you are borrowing for the right purpose, there's nothing wrong. Dubai borrowed a lot of money to beautify their country today, and they have paid back all the debt. Today, they are living like people in heaven, if there's any word like that. Nigeria continue to borrow. Look where we are today. We are not going anywhere. These people borrow to rig election. They borrow for their selfish interest. They borrow to satisfy their selfish needs. They borrow for their family members. They are not borrowing to stabilize the country. Just imagine all the money Buhari borrowed, according to Barrister Ozekhome, and all the money Tinubu continue to borrow. Nigeria is still sinking. Every day Nigeria is sinking. If you listen properly now to the background of my voice, you will hear generator they work. Nothing is working in this country. Not even one thing I can say that is working. Nothing. I thought I should bring this to your notice again. You don't tell what they rebroadcast and they rebroadcast. I thought, okay, since I don't come out yesterday now, make una let us sink in our head to know that we are not going anywhere. Rather, Nigeria is dying every day. Thank you very much. This is NWATCH Media. Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's continue to talk about the things that are affecting you and I. Share our videos, like our videos. Take care, and bye for now.